Welcome back, my friends. The news today is that Nvidia has passed Microsoft in market cap to become most valuable public company. Nvidia, which is up more than ninefold since the end of 2022, has surpassed Microsoft to become the most valuable public company in the world. The chipmaker passed the $3 trillion market cap mark in early June, joining Microsoft and Apple in that club. Nvidia has been the primary beneficiary of the recent boom in generative artificial intelligence. But before we get into all of that, I would like to thank everyone who views my videos. If you would like to support the channel, please see the link to buy me a coffee in the video description below. And please hit the like button and leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Nvidia, long known in the niche gaming community for its graphics chips, is now the most valuable public company in the world. Shares of the chipmaker climbed 3.6% on Tuesday, lifting the company's market cap to $34 trillion, surpassing Microsoft, which is now valued at $32 trillion. Earlier this month, Nvidia hit $3 trillion for the first time and passed Apple. Nvidia shares are up more than 170% so far this year and went a leg higher after the company reported first quarter earnings in May. The stock has multiplied by more than ninefold since the end of 2022, a rise that's coincided with the emergence of generative artificial intelligence. Apple shares fell 1.1% on Tuesday, giving the iPhone maker a $329 trillion market value. Nvidia has about 80% of the market for AI chips used in data centers, a business that's ballooned as OpenAI, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Meta, and others have raced to snap up the processors needed to build AI models and run increasingly large workloads. For the most recent quarter, revenue in Nvidia's data center business rose 427% from a year earlier to $22.6 billion, accounting for about 86% of the chipmaker's total sales. Founded in 1991, Nvidia spent its first few decades primarily as a hardware company that sold chips for gamers to run 3D titles. It's also dabbled in cryptocurrency mining chips and cloud gaming subscriptions. But over the past 2 years, Nvidia shares have skyrocketed as Wall Street came to recognize the company's technology as the engine behind an explosion in AI that shows no signs of slowing. The rally has lifted co-founder and CEO Jensen Huang's net worth to about $117 billion, making him the 11th wealthiest person in the world, according to Forbes. Microsoft shares are up about 20% so far this year. The software giant has also been a major beneficiary of the AI boom, after it took a significant stake in OpenAI and integrated the startup's AI models into its most important products, including Office and Windows. Microsoft is one of the biggest buyers of Nvidia's graphics processing units, GPUs, for its Azure cloud service. The company just released a new generation of laptops that are designed to run its AI models, called Copilot. Nvidia is a newcomer to the title of Most Valuable U.S. Company. For the past few years, Apple and Microsoft have been trading the title. Nvidia's ascent has been so rapid that the company has yet to be added to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the stock benchmark of 30 of the most valuable U.S. companies. Alongside its earnings release last month, Nvidia announced a 10-for-1 stock split, which went into effect on June 7th. The split gives Nvidia a better shot at being added to the Dow, which is a price-weighted index, meaning that companies with higher stock prices, rather than market caps, have outsized influence on the benchmark. The company's rise comes amid the generative AI explosion that kicked off when OpenAI debuted its ChatGPT platform in late 2022. Nvidia's chips, modified graphics cards, and CUDA software platform are designed to both train and run AI programs, giving it a strategic advantage that experts say will take rivals AMD, and Intel, INTC years to overcome. Nvidia is the tech industry's go-to supplier for AI chips and integrated software. Tech behemoths including Amazon, AMZN, Google, Goog, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, TSLA, and others use its hardware to power everything from their cloud-based AI offerings for customers to their own AI models and services. During a keynote at the Computex conference in Taiwan on June 2nd, CEO Jensen Huang announced that the company will release a high-powered version of its Blackwell chip, called the Blackwell Ultra, in 2025, followed by a new AI chip platform, Rubin, in 2026. The company will debut an Ultra version of Rubin in 2027. In the first quarter, Nvidia reported adjusted earnings per share of $6.12 on revenue of $26 billion, jumps of 461% and 262% respectively from the same period a year ago. Microsoft, Apple, and Nvidia are now in a race to hit $4 trillion market cap. Microsoft, Apple, Nasdaq APL, and Nvidia, Nasdaq NVDA, will be in a race over the next year to hit a market capitalization of $4 trillion, thanks to surging enthusiasm over the capabilities of artificial intelligence, according to analysts at Wedbush. At the end of trading on Friday, software titan Microsoft, Nasdaq MSFT's market value had stood at $329 trillion. The market cap of iPhone maker Apple's, meanwhile, has reached $326 trillion, just outpacing AI darling Nvidia's valuation of $324 trillion. In a note to clients on Sunday, the Wedbush analysts laid out the case for optimism surrounding each company. For Microsoft, the analysts argued that AI will help the firm monetize its massive base of installed enterprise users over the coming years. Microsoft, which has previously backed ChatGPT maker OpenAI, has outlined plans to bring AI into a number of fields across the business world with its Copilot offering. Despite recently being widely considered to be a laggard in the AI race, Apple unveiled a string of AI-powered enhancements to its products at its annual developers conference last week that the Wedbush analyst said could trigger a super cycle in iPhone sales. Finally, the Wedbush analyst said, Nvidia's AI-optimized chips are in essence the new gold or oil in the tech sector, as an increasing number of businesses embrace the nascent technology. Although they flagged that AI could disrupt near-term sales cycles in some tech stocks, the analysts added the massive expected wave of expenditures will not only fuel a new industrial revolution in the tech industry, but also underpin a broader market rally well in 2025. If Nvidia's stock in the coming months were to continue appreciating at the same rate as it has over the past year, for example, its market cap would hit the $4 trillion mark by year-end. One Wall Street analyst is even projecting that Nvidia will do just that and reach the $5 trillion mark next year. Stocks reaching the top of the market cap rankings will often follow with below-average growth. If something is obvious, it's already reflected in the market. The first company to reach a $4 trillion stock market valuation may not even be on your radar screen now. While almost everyone expects one of the three largest U.S. companies, Microsoft, MSFT, Apple, AAPL, and Nvidia, NVDA, as of June 14th, to be the first to hit that milestone, it isn't necessarily a given. True, if the shares of these three big tech companies were to appreciate at no faster than the U.S. market's average historical rate, they would each hit the $4 trillion market in just over 3 years. Yet many Wall Street analysts expect each of these three companies to grow much faster than that and pass the $4 trillion mark much sooner. But they are extrapolating the recent past into the future. If Nvidia's stock in the coming months were to continue appreciating at the same rate as it has over the past year, for example, its market cap would hit the $4 trillion mark by year-end. One Wall Street analyst is even projecting that Nvidia will do just that and reach the $5 trillion mark next year. These analysts are getting ahead of themselves. Not only is it unrealistic to extrapolate the recent past into the future, it's unrealistic to expect that these market cap leaders will grow at the market's average rate. After stocks make it to the top of the market cap rankings, they proceed to grow at a below-market rate, on average. This is illustrated in the accompanying chart, which plots the performance of a hypothetical strategy that each year invested in the U.S. stock with the largest market cap at the end of the prior year. Notice that the strategy significantly lags the S&P 500 SPX. Nvidia's current price assumes that its earnings per share will grow at a 70% annualized rate over the next 5 years. Fans of Nvidia in particular are incredulous when I present this data to them. Don't I know that the AI revolution is just beginning? It's obvious to them that not only will the AI wave continue for many years to come, but also that Nvidia will be at the head of that wave, producing double-digit, if not triple-digit, annualized returns. What these true believers fail to realize is that if something is obvious, it's already reflected in the market. For Nvidia to grow at the rates they are anticipating, the company would have to perform far better than they are already expecting. And that's expecting a lot, as I recently discussed. Nvidia's current price assumes that its earnings per share will grow at a 70% annualized rate over the next 5 years. Hardly any large-cap stock earnings in U.S. history have grown that fast for that long. Top dogs and dark horses. Even if AI stocks continue taking Wall Street by storm, it's unlikely that Nvidia's stock in coming years will be the AI leader. That's the implication of a 2019 study conducted by investment company Research Affiliates entitled Standing Alone Against the Crowd. The study's authors focused on stocks that, at any point over the prior 40 years, had the largest market caps in each sector of the 9 largest stock markets in the world. Stocks they referred to as top dogs. They found that nearly 80% of the top dogs underperformed their own sector over the next decade, falling short of the average return for that sector in each country by an average of 9.7% a year. We shouldn't be surprised if a dark horse stock is the first to $4 trillion. This is why we shouldn't be surprised if a dark horse stock is the first to $4 trillion. It's impossible to know which stock it will be, since if we knew, the stock would already be trading close to that level. But there are many stocks that are lower down the market cap ranking that are in the running. All it would take would be for fortune to smile on one of them the same way it has for Nvidia. To appreciate this point, imagine yourself 3 years ago trying to predict which company would first hit the $3 trillion mark. At the time, June 30th, 2021, Apple was at the top of the market cap rankings at $228 trillion. Microsoft was in second place at $204 trillion, while Amazon.com, AMZN, was third at $173 trillion. Nvidia's market cap then was $498 billion. Few would have guessed that 3 years later, Nvidia's market cap would surpass Apple's, as happened earlier this month. To identify which dark horse stocks might end up with bragging rights as the first $4 trillion company, I took Nvidia's return over the past 3 years and calculated what each stock in the S&P 500 SPX would be worth in 3 years, if it grew at that same rate until then. On this assumption, 8 stocks besides today's big 3 would be worth more than $4 trillion in June 2027. But what do you think? Please hit the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. And before we end, a word from the sponsor of this video. Today's sponsor is ProWorldNet.com. ProWorldNet.com is a job website specifically dedicated to licensed professions, doctors including any type of specialty, nurses, and that includes all grades of nurses, lawyers, regardless of area of legal focus, teachers and professors, from kindergarten through graduate school, as well as any kind of job that requires a government license or certification. And ProWorldNet.com also includes short-term gig-type jobs as well. So be sure to check out ProWorldNet.com if you are looking for a job or an employee. Thank you for watching.